Hi, welcome to my screencast for the Hawaii War Records Depository. The HWRD was established at the University of Hawaii Library in 1943, and it contains a little over 3,000 images that document the impact of the Second World War on Hawaii and its citizens. Here we see the homepage of the depository. You see a short description of it here on the left, and a feature record on the right that we'll click on for more detailed information. This is how all of the records come up, the picture on the left and the metadata on the right. Here you have the elements: agency, reference number, publisher, description, and so on. And the right's information is the same message on every picture. Seems the fastest way to do that. And the most interesting field I find is the comments here. You can click to add and your name and email and your comment and any additional information you might personally have for the image in question, as long as you can prove that you're a human with the captcha there. And we go back to the home page, and at the bottom here you see some information about the street print open source software the database uses, also the Dublin Core metadata schema that it uses, and that the meta tags are all OAI compliant, so it could be harvested if one so chose. Another really interesting link I found is the slideshows here, and here we have a bunch of collected by various themes images that are really is an easy way to look through a bunch of similar photos without searching individually over and over again through the search or browsing that we'll look at in a second. But these are really very interesting, and I wish I could show you all of them now, but that would take way too long, so I encourage everyone that wants to check them out on their own time. The link there to go back to the main page. There is a link to the institute that grant funded everything to help make all that possible that we're seeing. And then getting to the search function. It's a pretty standard search function. This is the basic one, and they have a bunch of examples here. We're going to try a couple of them out. For the basic one, we're going to go for the USS Oklahoma, and you click on search, and then here we have 8 records total that are tagged with the USS Oklahoma. Some of these are obviously during or after the Pearl Harbor attack, and most of them are of the Oklahoma itself. This one we see is a picture of Julio de Castro, who personally led a group of 20 civilian workers during the attack on Pearl Harbor and effected the rescue of 32 Navy men trapped in the hull of the ship. Here he's seen with his family, and you can click on the image and get a larger, higher resolution picture. It's a really, to me it was surprisingly how good the quality was. There you can see the description, the names of everyone in this family, and the date digitized, the date that the photo was taken. And the other search function is the advanced search. The link to it is here. And with this plus sign here, you can add more fields, up to 4 maximum. We're just going to use 2 for the sake of showing you. And again, we're going to use some of their examples they provide. Here we'll first take a category, and we'll go with U.S. Navy. Now, with this you can see all of the different categories that images in the database are relegated into, and we'll go more in depth into the various categories when I show you the browse feature. Navy, and go with description and Nimitz. There are 13 total pictures with the categories Navy and Nimitz tacked on for the description. Here we'll go with the first one. And there you see Admiral Nimitz on the right hand there. And in the description it has him and the other people listed. And you can see in the categories, the other ones it was tagged with, they're Military Service Hawaii, Oahu, where you can assume that the photo was taken place on, U.S. Navy personnel, visiting officials and dignitaries. And back to search results real quick. Show you that you have the total, like the second page here. Go back to the first page. Now for the browse feature. You can browse the records through these different categories: photo number, agency, category, date, newest records, and recent comments. Now I'll go to recent comments right away to show you how that affects a lot of them. You can see the diamond tag that each photo has on it if it has a comment. And go to this one real quick. Then you just scroll down here and click on the view ad. And most of them are like this. They just have some additional lines of information about the photo. Like in this one you have some supposition of where the photographer might be standing, and you can see the sign for the theater visible at the right. But some of them have a lot more detail on them. And some of that detail is really, really interesting. Like this one picture, one might assume that that's a group of women fighting fires during the Pearl Harbor attack. But if you look in the comments here, you can have a lot more information. This one posted back in 2011, that the picture actually depicts a group of women on a training exercise who had applied for jobs at the shipyard, and they link the article information that they got it from. And this really creates an interesting community, albeit a small community, for the amount of interest and comments that are on it. But I really like the interplay of other people that have information and are available to bring it publicly without having to submit it first to the archives and allowing them to have to tag it on in further in description or another element. I really like the addition of the comments here. Now continuing with the browse feature, you can go by photo number, which everyone has. Like if you, I'm not sure really who would know the photo number in particular, but it is one of the primary elements and a good tag for individual documentation. Now, the category that I found most useful was category. And here we have all of the different categories that the photos have been relegated into. Some are very detailed, like Boy Scouts and the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. Some are more broad, like the U.S. Navy or U.S. Army, and they have smaller breakdowns inside. And to the right of each category name you can see the number of images that it holds, and obviously it's alphabetically ordered. And one of the most interesting category I found was the Japanese Americans here, specifically because of a lot of the controversy surrounding World War II and the detention of Japanese Americans in the camps. But as you can see here, a photo of a group of volunteers of Japanese ancestry accepted by the United States Army. There's more to Japanese Americans than just camps having to do with this war. And in particular, there was a Japanese American slideshow that did a lot of these photos too, and I found them all very interesting. See, the resolution on a lot of them is not that much different when you maximize the image. Now, we go back to browse. The rest of them are agency, which you can see them from where the photos came from. Most of them coming from the Honolulu Star Bulletin and the U.S. Army Signal Corps. And the rest are the newest digitized records. And we have the date, if there is a particular date that you're looking for, though really it might be easiest to do an advanced search by date if that's how you want it to look. One of the last things to go into real quick, and I'll just pick one like this, is you see on the right the view results. We've been looking at it by thumbnail view this whole time, but another way you can do is view by list, and that has some agency information, the amount of images, and if you look down, let's see if this one has any. Oh, it's not even on that one, but we'll also have the comments listed as well. I believe there's some on this one. Yeah. This is browsing by the list view is a good way to pick out images that have comments, and this one in particular has a lot of good background information on it. And this poster even provided some personal information. Suppose if one wanted to get in contact with her about that, it has her P.O. box there. So that's a good last illustration of the sort of information community that the comment filter allows to be built up around this. And it's a pretty straightforward repository, so that really is about it. Thank you very much for joining me for this, and have a good day.